Yo, what's good? It's your boy B-Dell. I'm back with a occultic breakdown. If you're new to this channel, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button, because it's imperative that we get out this edification, because the amount of information that I galvanize for this presentation is going to crack your head open, right? Because I'm going to be showing you the reality of the Jesuit order that's connected to the bloody oath of secrecy propagated by the dark priesthood of the Vatican Church that uses Babylonian blood magic to sacrifice rappers in the rap industry, right? So with all that shit being said, we finna shut down this paradigm with this intrinsic information. So first, we're gonna start off with we're gonna be starting out with symbolism, the sigil of empire. Now, when you look at this sigil of empire, right, it is basically an emulation of the Pope's garments, which is basically the symbology of a sigil that means boy lover. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about because it's connected to ancient esoteric occultism when they do these rituals. Because I told you that monotheistic belief systems ain't nothing but watered down Satanism, right? So when you look at this sigil right here, it's on the Pope's garments. And then it's also connected to pedophilia, because when you understand the dynamics of Catholicism and all these Freemasonic order organizations that's acclimated to these theological belief systems, they deal with a lot of pedophilia. So now when you look at the emulation, where'd it go? When you look at the empire symbol, it is direct emulation of what it has on the Pope's garments, right? So when you look at it from that aspect, and you could look at these sigils right here of Luciferianism, right? Because these are sigils that are connected to Gnosticism. Gnosticism is basically that creates the archon energy in the three-dimensional world, right? So what I mean by that is, like, the archons, who are actually draconians, they control the system through politics, prison system, philosophy, paganism, and the pharmaceutical industry, right? Which makes up the 5 P's of ancient occultism. And those 5 P's of ancient occultism, when you're looking at the pentagram, an inverted pentagram, it means that it's basically an emulation of everything in the material world. That's what an inverted a pentagram is. So now when you look at these rappers, when they got these rings on their jewelry and everything, it's basically it's basically the symbology of death, right? It's basically the symbology of death, because now when you look at King Von, when you look at Pop Smoke, when you look at Mode 3, when you look at Young Dolph, like I said, they want to give you this reality, this false perception that this is just a 5-star ring, when it's really an inverted pentagram. Because the 5 P's of ancient occultism, if you're not propagating the political system in your music that's connected to democracy, if you're not propagating death culture through the prison system, if you're not giving that veneration to the prison system, telling niggas that they need to go to jail and commit crimes through your music, you're not going to get a record deal. If you're not promoting the philosophy of the beast in your music, you're not going to get a record deal. If you're not promoting the concept of the pharmaceutical industry that's connected to Eurocentric concepts of a dietary system, or when you're talking about the Food and Drug Administration, those are the 5 P's right there. If you're not promoting anything under the 5 P's of politics, prison system, philosophy, paganism, right, or through the pharmaceutical industry, if you're not propagating that in the music, you're not going to get a goddamn record deal, because that makes up the material world, the artificial construct, the vetted simulation of reality that we live in, the material world. So those are the 5 P's. So that's why the vast majority of these rappers, they sold. When you're talking about, the 5 P's of ancient occultism, in a 9 times out of 10, they become sacrificial lamb because they took the Faustian bargain. And I'm going to show you what a Faustian bargain is. So when you're talking about a Faustian bargain, right, you're actually talking about a deal with the devil, right? So we finna get off into it. This is what you call a deal with the devil. It's actually called a Faustian bargain or a metaphysical bargain, and you basically making a pact with the devil or a pact with a demon by signing over your nature, which means a signature. And at the bottom right here, when you go on Wikipedia, it tells you that Pope Sylvester II is an illustration of it. Pope Sylvester II made a pact with the devil. So when you look at the emulation of it, it looks like a draconian, because I told you the archons are the ones who control everything in the three-dimensional world. So now you got to ask yourself, why is the Pope making a pact with this demonic entity, this draconian? That's because, like I told you, Catholicism and Satanism, Luciferianism, draconianism, Gnosticism are basically all one and the same, right? So when in reality, if you propagate paganism, these monotheistic belief systems, you're actually worshiping Satan, because Lucifer and Jesus and all these other belief systems, they're basically the personification of Lucifer, right? Because they all promote inverted lifestyles, right? So now when you look at, now this is the signature that he made a pact with. And this was these are all these sigils around it. These are all draconic languages. It's a sigil. So you can see that for yourself. This is an actual, a real manuscript that was basically concocted in the 15th century, right? So when you're talking about a Faustian bargain, these things are real. And I'm going to show you a video of a guy talking about how he took a Faustian bargain. He basically made a pact with, you know, your so-called Satan, who was actually a draconian. And I'm going to show you here for a second. So, let's see.
Do you think
that ain't it? All right, here we go.
Why do you still do it? Why are you still out here?
Well, it goes back to the destiny thing. You know, I made a bargain with it, you know, a long time ago. And
notice he said bargain. Pay attention to, pay attention to the verbiage that he's using in this interview.
I'm holding up my hand.
What was your bargain?
To get where I am now.
Should I ask who you made the bargain with?
with the chief commander
on this earth,
and this earth, and then in the world we can't see.
Now, if you understand anything about ancient occultism, when you're talking about the Theosophical Society, when you talk about like Aleister Crowley, what I'm going to show you right here after the video you just watched, this is a seance that they do in these rituals in ancient occultism, and they take this seance that Aleister Crowley is doing. They do these seances and they do witchcraft on these over the artist, over the material, over the music and stuff like that. They do a lot of these seances in the music because it sends an octave frequency and a vibration to deceive your biological structure to where it takes you off balance from a spiritual level and a mental level, right? Because, music in itself has the ability to manipulate the neocortex, and the neocortex is connected to your subconscious mind. So I'm going to show you this this footage right here of a seance that Aleister Crowley was doing.
And this being, through his wife, kind of a channeling type operation, brought forth a book that was called the Book of the Law in 1904. And this book declared that the slain and risen God, i.e. Jesus, had stepped off the throne, and that a new God, the crowned and conquering child, was taking his place. In fact, he was a brilliant genius.
So you're looking at these rituals. If you look at my last video, These are all rituals of the brotherhood of Saturn. And so you understand the metaphysical aspect of the Saturn moon matrix. They make up the material world, right? And the material world is galvanized by the 5 P's that I was telling you about: politics, prison system, paganism, the pharmaceutical industry, and philosophy, right?
He was an accomplished poet, mountaineer, painter, writer. He had so many Masonic degrees that you could fill up 5 pages of a book with them. This guy was probably the most highly honored Mason in the world. And he was also the most dangerous man in the 20th century.
Now, when you understand the concept of do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. So do what thou wilt, they really believe under a Hegelian dialectic principle that you got to have chaos in order to bring order. So that's why everything in this system is inverted. That's why they propagate and advertise certain things to you in the music that's actually ass backwards. So, and reason I say that's ass backwards, that goes against everything in your nature. That's why you get rappers, they promote, you know, devilishment. You got these rappers, they promote all these things. They promote gang banging and drug dealing and gangsterism. But you never hear any of these other cultures or these other genres of music. You never heard a rock and roll singer talking about, oh, shoot a nigga, kill a nigga, gang bang a nigga. You never heard a R&B singer or anything, a country singer. They don't promote death. That's because the deaf culture is connected to the bloody oath of secrecy. The bloody oath of secrecy, when you're talking about the Moorish papers, right? The bloody oath of secrecy is controlled by all these connections in the music industry, right? And they propagate all these things because all these things are being galvanized by the Rothschilds record label, right? So when you look at the Boule Society, when you're talking about, you know, all these black, how can I say it? These black public figures in politics, and they use them to connect with rappers, and the rappers tell you, you know what I'm saying, to venerate democracy, which is demonic rulership. So all these things is connected to a secret society to some sort. Then, you know, you got all these organizations right here, all these projects they use to manipulate people under the bloody oath of secrecy. And the bloody oath of secrecy is to keep you in darkness about who you are and to promote death, right? Which throws you out of your own birthright. And the reason they promote death is because it's connected to eugenics. So that's how they get you, you know what I'm saying? So you also got people like this guy, he's, you know, he's like the key insurance man, right? You see him with Young Dolph, he's with King Von, he's with Mo 3. And then you got a recent picture with him with PNB Rock. So what you got to ask yourself, who are these people? He's with XSX down right here, right? What you got to ask yourself is, who are these people that is, you know, pulling the strings, you know, behind the scenes to where, you know what I'm saying, to where you can get them to sign over their nature and get killed. That's why you see the vast majority of people who are part of this label called Empire, they end up getting killed off. Because, you know what I'm saying, the devil in itself, you know what I'm saying, these industries, they deal with physical and instant gratification. When you're dealing with the Most High and the intrinsic connection to the universe, you're dealing with delayed gratification. Because what I'm saying is, like, these record industries, they give you all the motherfucking money. They give you the VVS diamonds and things of that nature. They give you all the women. That's instant gratification because they can give it to you now and they can take that shit away from you later. Whether if it's, you know, you not promoting what they want you to promote, or if you're not advertising, you know, certain things that's connected to the conglomerate corporations on Wall Street that keeps you in your straw man, right? So that's what they do. You promote everything in the system that's controlled by draconians, or, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna deviate, you know, being off the record label, or they're gonna kill your motherfucking ass either way. So that's why I told you there's a dichotomy between instant gratification and delayed gratification. So I tell people all the time, man, you got to deal with delayed gratification because you'll reap the benefits of everything that belongs to you by having a connection with the Most High in the universe, right? So everything, you know what I'm saying, the material world has a mandated cap. It's not sustainable. Delayed gratification is sustainable, right? So now I'm going to show you the reality of once you don't promote these things, they start coming after your ass. Because like I tell people all the time, these rappers, you know, they like to floss, you know what I'm saying, all this jewelry and shit like that, and you end up getting robbed, just like PNB Rock, and you know what I'm saying, you end up losing your life. You know what I'm saying? That's because none of these things, you know, these are temporary concepts. So instead of, you know what I'm saying, flossing and jewelry, you need to get your motherfucking ass some obsidian stone or some gemstones to protect your frequency. You know what I'm saying? To protect yourself from the archons and the evil energy all around you in the music industry, instead of buying some VVS diamonds. So I'm going to show you a couple clips here. Where is it at? So when you don't promote what they want you to promote, they start coming after you.
I can't understand why this close they talking about there's no evidence that I ever sodomized, but even though you put that all over the paper, and every time they take a quote out of this quote.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you understand anything about Tupac's music, he was banging on the industry. You know what I'm saying? He was lifting up people's vibration through the music. So when you galvanize so much power, they want hands-on, you know, control with you. So if they can't control you, they got to get rid of you, or they start putting charges on you.
They take a quote from out of her mouth, which is, you know, the stuff to put me in jail. It's nothing that's been true. I just want print the facts so everybody can sort it out. My life is ruined because nobody has a chance to get the facts.
That there was no semen found.
No semen found, no forcible entry, no entry into the anal, no nothing, none of that. You know,
no fingerprints on the gun.
Fingerprints on the guns, you know what I'm saying?
What is your response to the allegations that were brought by the district attorney in Santa Barbara that you molested this boy?
Totally false. If I would hurt a child, I would slip my wrist. I would never hurt a child. It's totally false. I was outraged. I could never do something like that.
This is all about my image. This has nothing to do with me. This is all about my image. It's like MTV, all the papers, they building me up. Now they destroy me on the same image that they prepare.
See, that's what they do. They build you up. Once you get all this stardom, you get all the fame, they build you up and they break you down once you don't promote what they want you to promote. Tupac wasn't going to promote, you know what I'm saying, death culture. I mean, he did for a little bit of time, you know, while he was with Death Row, but once you galvanize so much power and you try to deviate from their system, the devil tries to come and collect. I'm going to show you another video.
Do you think, Michael, do you think it's murder?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I said it in the beginning and I believe it to this day. Absolutely. Absolutely. You must remember, Michael told me repeatedly that they were going to kill him, that he was going to die.
Who is they? The Jesuit order. The Jesuit order, the one who promotes paganism under the 5 Ps, Draconians, right? The people who control the world. So like I said, they want hands-on control. If they can't control you, they're going to kill you.
And he would say that. And when I heard my mother scream, "He's dead," immediately I said, "Who did it?" I didn't say what for, what of, what happened, who did it? Because he repeatedly said that. And he not only told me, he told my mother as well, yeah. And she mentions it quite often too.
And who did it?
There's quite a few. The doctor that you're looking at, the doctor that you see there, was the fall guy. That's what he was. He was the fall guy.
And so there are people in the background?
There are people in the background.
Pulling strings?
Yes, absolutely.
So, you know what I'm saying? I'm showing you the reality of everything that goes on in the music industry. And all these videos I'm showing you, I had to get these motherfuckers off the dark web. They took these off streaming platforms because it makes too much sense. And I'm going to show you another clip of this video right here.
So many people like forsake their moral code and their value systems just for a little bit of fame, and it's not worth it at the end of the day. It's really not worth it.
This is the Temple of Sex.
Like I told you, everything's connected to occultism of you know what I'm saying, of the Draconians, right? Luciferianism. It says this is the Temple of Set. The temple is the only international satanic religious institution fully recognized by the United States government, right? Why is that? Because I told you, Satanism and religion go hand in hand. And I'm going to prove that to you. And you know what I'm saying? The Pope is supposed to be the visor of our religions, right? The Pope is supposed to be the visor of all religions. So now what you got to ask yourself, if Kanye's supposed to be a Christian, right? Why is he with Marilyn Manson? That's what God told you. Luciferianism, Satanism, right? Being a Christian, Catholicism, following any type of monotheistic belief system, you still worshiping the devil because it's all in the same. Because, you know, Catholicism ain't nothing but watered down Satanism. That's all it is. That's why a lot of people didn't understand the magnitude of Kanye, you know what I'm saying, being alongside with Marilyn Manson. That's because, like I said, it's all in the same. It's kind of like, you know, Democrat and Republican. You know what I'm saying? They're both of the wings on the same bird. Same thing with Satanism or Christianity or Catholicism or Islam. It's basically the same thing. Anything you're dealing with a Eurocentric, westernized concept of spirituality ain't nothing but Satanism. It's the same shit. But like I said, that's how you see beyond the illusion, because the illusion of the three-dimensional world works in polarities. Once you see beyond the polarity, that's how you find the truth. You don't operate through good or evil. You don't operate through positive and negative. You got to operate at 0-point energy to where you can see both sides for what it is, to where you cannot be compromised mentally and spiritually, right? So now, like I told you, they promote it. You got to ask yourself, all this knowledge on the planet, all this motherfucking knowledge on the planet, like the information in itself is not expendable. So you got to ask yourself, if everybody has access to certain information, why you got all these rappers wearing Jesus pieces? You know what I'm saying? You got all these rappers wearing Jesus pieces, crucifix, because that's part of the Jesuit order, right? It's part of the Jesuit order because they got to promote paganism under the 5 P's of ancient occultism. They got to promote, you know what I'm saying? You see these rappers, that's part of the bargain. So even if, you know what I'm saying, they may not promote death in the music, but they promote it through imagery. So when you see rappers wearing crosses, the Jesus piece, and things of that nature, got T.I. with the crucifix on. That's the Jesuit order that's connected to the Khazarian Mafia, who are the basically connected to the cult of Edom. Because Christianity, Catholicism, that's a cult. Right here, see, rappers wearing a crucifix. Jesus piece. That's because you are worshiping a draconian god. You know what I'm saying? The crucifix. Why aren't they wearing an ankh? Why aren't they wearing any of these, you know, these highly metaphysical sigils of ancient Kemet? That's because they're not allowed to. Because it's not promoting death. Because when you understand the aspect of a crucifix, it's a symbol of death. You know what I'm saying? It's also a symbol of being a prisoner of war, a casualty of war, you know, under the bloody oath of secrecy, because you got your birthright taken from the motherfucking Pope when he was dealing with Queen Isabella in 1868, right? So all this is basically in connection. You know what I'm saying? You got the Tupac wearing a crucifix. So like I said, these are symbols of death. They promote death, death culture. Big Sean with the Jesus piece, right? And then when you look at it from that aspect, a lot of these rappers are in they work in symbiotic connection with witches in the music industry who pretend to be stylists, who pretend to be philanthropists. This is what the person you looking at right now is this woman named Michelle Lammy. She's a witch. She's a Luciferian draconian witch. And there's an interview that I try to find, and they asked her if she believed in God, but she said that she believes in the chief and commander because the chief and commander wants control of DNA. Of what DNA? Black DNA? Is that why you see her with rappers? You know what I'm saying? Is that why you see her with so many rappers? Because they're being told to promote death that's connected to the eugenic system. And the eugenic system is connected to the draconian system because they need our genetics to live on the planet because they can't stand the fourth and fifth dimensional energies, right? You see her with all the, Kim Kardashian, who is a witch. You know what I'm saying? She got Kanye under the sleep spell. So this is real. You guys, like I said, these are the questions that people got to be asking. Who are these people pulling the strings behind closed doors? People like this woman right here, I'm showing you. It's supposed to be a fashion icon. That's a cover-up. She ain't no motherfucking fashion icon. She's a draconian witch. There's another rapper she's with. You know what I'm saying? She's with A$AP Rocky. And in the beginning of his music career, he was promoting Satanism in his music. And he even, you know what I'm saying, he was in a pentagram in one of his music videos. So this is real. So with that being said, with all that shit being said, it comes down to the fact that, you know what I'm saying, you gotta have supreme discernment. If you're a rapper and you out here just, winging shit, and you're not paying attention to everything around you, they send certain women around you for a reason. They send stylists and certain people around you for a reason. That's because, you know what I'm saying, they're keeping tabs on you. They scrutinizing and monitoring your every move because they want to make sure that you're doing everything that's connected to their system that they want to promote to the masses. So as soon as you start to deviate from that, they're going to kill your motherfucking ass off because, like PNB Rock, for example, I really believe that was an orchestrated hit. And even when you look at it from a spiritual level, the archons have the ability to control other people on the planet to kill you. So even if you want to be like, oh, that's just some street shit, the street shit is also controlled through a spiritual level. Because people negate the fact that we living in a time right now, this is spiritual warfare inside of a material construct. So like I said, man, if you're a rapper, stop getting all these goddamn VVS diamonds. Get you some motherfucking gemstones. Get you an obsidian stone to soak up all that negative energy around you. You know what I'm saying? So if you're gonna be a street nigga, if you're gonna promote gangsterism, at least have one foot in spirituality to where you can deviate from certain shit, certain things happening to you when it comes to like people trying to rob you and kill you and things of that nature. Because you bringing on a certain energy when you put that energy out in the atmosphere, in the ethers, in your music, through universal law, that energy is you're gonna reap the benefits of that energy right back to you. You're gonna embark that energy again. So like I said, man, you got to be very meticulous of everything that's going on the planet right now, because I told you the planet is going through a metamorphic shift. And a metamorphic shift is the fact that we're living in the fifth dimensional energy. So thoughts, words, and certain concepts, they actually become things now. So share this video, get it out there, man. So if you're a rapper and you make music, you know, it's imperative that, you know, you think twice about certain things when you know, trying to get a record deal, because you don't want to compromise your moral integrity for a motherfucking bag. So with all that shit being said, thanks for watching. Share the video. Hit that subscribe button. I'll be back with another one soon.